Lucille Ball told people about the 9 actresses who were really mean. Lucille Ball was on television for a long time, over 20 years, and people in America loved her. She was known for being a redhead and making people laugh. Lucille Ball had a laugh and could make a lot of funny faces, which made a lot of people happy. This made her an important woman in Hollywood. Not a lot of people knew that Lucille Ball was also very good at business. She could tell if someone was a person or not. Lucille Ball was the woman to be in charge of a big movie studio. She did not just make people laugh, she also decided who would be in movies and who would not. Lucille Ball had a lot of power, could make or break someone's career with just one word. Lucy was a person who did not like people who were fake or mean. A person who used to work with Lucy at Desilu said this about her. This person worked with Lucy for a long time, more than 10 years. Lucy had a list in her mind of actresses she thought were bad people. These were women who looked beautiful and nice on the outside. Lucy thought they were cold and mean on the inside. She called them people with hearts of ice. When Lucy got older, she started talking about the famous people she did not like. She would tell her close friends stories about these people. The stories Lucy told her friends showed that some famous people were not nice, all even though they seemed nice on television or in the movies. Lucy said that these famous people were mean and hurtful. They hid this from the public. Number 1. Joan Crawford. She was a star in Hollywood and people thought she was really cold. When Joan Crawford was on the show Here's Lucy, in 1971, people watching at home saw the lady they had liked for a long time. Joan Crawford always stood up straight, looked perfect, and she was very charming when she wanted to be. This made her seem like a Hollywood star. Some people who worked at Desilu said that when the cameras were not rolling, Joan Crawford was not very nice at all. She was really cold. Ball said to her years later, "It was like talking to a woman who was not really alive. She looked great. That was it. Inside, she was cold as ice." Crawford had a lot of problems with how she looked even before she got to the studio. She wanted things away like the lighting, and she wrote it all down in a big note. The note was 5 pages long. The technical director of the show still had it years later. The woman wanted everything to be just right. The angle of her chair had to be perfect. The height of her mark on the set was also very important. Even the temperature of the studio mattered. The studio had to be 68 degrees. This was the temperature of the studio that the woman liked. The woman liked the studio to be 68 degrees because it felt comfortable to her. The temperature of the studio was one of the things that had to be precise, like the angle of her chair and the height of her mark on the set. The woman and the studio and the set all had to work to make everything perfect. The woman wanted the studio to be 68 degrees. When Crawford finally got to the place 3 hours before they started taping, she had her own people to do her makeup, even though the show already had good artists working there. What really showed what Crawford is like is how she acted differently to people depending on who they were. According to someone who was working behind the scenes that day, Crawford was really nice to Lucy. She was almost too nice. When a young person who helped with the clothes made a little mistake and brought a dress with a tiny wrinkle, Crawford got really upset with the wardrobe assistant. Crawford yelled at the wardrobe assistant, and that was not very nice of Crawford. She went off on a mean rant. It was so bad that the people in the hallway just stopped and stared. She called the 22-year woman a useless little nothing. She even said the woman should be cleaning toilets instead. The young woman was so upset that she ran away crying. Crawford wanted the woman to be fired from her job. The producer, who works with Ball, said no. This made everyone really uncomfortable for the rest of the time they were filming. Number 2. Judy Garland, a big star who had a lot of problems. This surprised a lot of people because Judy Garland is thought of as one of the loved people in Hollywood, a very sensitive person who was treated badly by the movie studios. Lucille Ball said things about Judy Garland in public, but in private, she had some mixed feelings. Lucille Ball loved Judy Garland's talent, a friend of hers said. She was also very honest about how Judy Garland's problems with showing up on time and her addictions hurt a lot of people who did not deserve it. Judy Garland had a lot of issues that affected people around her. Lucy always said that having talent does not mean you can hurt people's careers. Lucy felt strongly about this, and she would say it over and over. The thing Lucy wanted to make clear is that talent is not an excuse to destroy what other people have worked for. Lucy said this because she believed that people with talent should use it to help others, not to hurt them. Lucy thought that talent is a gift and it should be used in a way. Lucille Ball and Judy Garland had known each other for a time since they worked together at MGM. Lucille Ball was always very professional. Judy Garland was often late, missed shows, or was too sick to perform. What really bothered Lucille Ball was not Judy Garland's problems, but how they affected all the people around Judy Garland. One of the directors remembered Lucille Ball talking about a day when the whole crew had to wait from 5 in the morning until 2 in the afternoon for Judy Garland to show up. Judy Garland performed well for about 30 minutes. Then she said she was too tired to keep going. The day the people in charge let 3 of the crew members go. This happened because the production was spending money than they had planned for. The production was over budget. That is why the crew members lost their jobs. Number 3. Zsa Zsa Gabor. She was someone who Lucille Ball thought was fancy, but not really genuine. Zsa Zsa Gabor looked great, had a nice accent, and a playful way with people. This made Zsa Zsa Gabor a big hit on talk shows. Lucille Ball saw right through her. Lucille Ball knew that Zsa Zsa Gabor was just putting on a show. Someone who used to write for Lucille Ball remembered that she said Zsa Zsa Gabor's accent was different depending on what she wanted. Lucille Ball also said that nothing about Zsa Zsa Gabor was actually real. Not even her hair or her jewelry or her name Zsa Zsa Gabor was really hers. Ball really started to dislike Gabor after they were at a charity event in the 1960s. This is where Gabor was very nice to the photographers. Then she yelled at the volunteers and said she did not want to be there once the cameras were gone. Lucy said that Zsa Zsa Gabor was not just acting like this, she was actually being this way all the time. What really bothered Ball was that Gabor was making people think that women in entertainment are about showing off their money and marrying rich men instead of actually being talented. Ball thought that Gabor should have focused on building a career based on her abilities, not just her wealth and the men she married. Ball was upset that Gabor was giving women in entertainment a name by doing this. Number 4. Bette Davis. The talent who had a hard time being kind. Lucy liked Bette Davis' talent, but she did not like the way Bette Davis treated people. A friend of Lucy's said that she would often joke that Bette Davis could scare people by looking at them. This friend also said that Bette Davis' mean streak was even bigger than her talent. One time Bette Davis was at a dinner for people in the movie business in the 1960s. She spent the evening being mean to the people who worked there and saying nasty things about others. Lucy did not want to sit with Bette Davis. She said she wanted to stay safe and not get hurt by Bette Davis' words. Davis was really mean to people who did makeup and costumes and to the actors. One person who used to work with her said that Lucy heard Davis yelling at an actress because she said one word wrong. This made Ball so upset that she went to talk to the director about it. What bothered Lucy the most was that Davis was really talented and still chose to be mean to people. Lucy thought that when you become famous, you should try to be a person, not a worse one. Even though Davis was mean, Ball still treated her with respect. At work, she just tried to stay from her when she did not have to talk to Davis. Number 5. Barbara Stanwyck. She was known as the Ice Queen because she left her son. Barbara Stanwyck was one of the respected actresses in Hollywood. She was nominated for an Oscar 4 times. People liked her because she was good at playing different roles. Barbara Stanwyck was great at playing characters. This made her perfect for movies like film noir and westerns. People who knew Lucille Ball said that Barbara Stanwyck was not very emotional in life. This was not something she pretended to be in movies. Barbara Stanwyck was like that. Lucille Ball thought this was very strange. It bothered her. Barbara Stanwyck's way of being was what made Lucille Ball feel this way about Barbara Stanwyck. Lucy once said that Barbara Stanwyck scared her. A former executive from Desilu told us this. Lucy described Barbara Stanwyck as a statue. You would never dare touch Barbara Stanwyck because she was perfect and polished and completely cold. Lucy and Barbara Stanwyck worked together for a while at Desilu Productions. This was a time ago when Desilu Productions was just starting out. Lucy was really upset by Barbara Stanwyck's ability to turn her emotions on and off. It was like Barbara Stanwyck had a faucet that she could turn on and off whenever she wanted. Barbara Stanwyck could be crying in a scene. Then the director would say cut. Then Barbara Stanwyck would start talking about what she was going to eat for lunch. She would do this without showing any feelings all. Lucy did not like Barbara Stanwyck's way of acting because it did not seem real to her. What Lucy really did not like about Barbara Stanwyck was her relationship with her son Dion. Barbara Stanwyck adopted Dion, raised him by herself after she divorced Rex Harrison. Barbara Stanwyck and Dion did not get along, and she stopped talking to him. Lucy did not understand this because she loved her children so much. Lucy always said that no matter what problems you have with your children, you should never give up on them. Lucy thought that Barbara Stanwyck giving up on Dion was very wrong. Barbara Stanwyck and her son Dion had a lot of problems. Lucy did not think it was right for Barbara Stanwyck to cut him out of her life. Number 6. Tallulah Bankhead. She was really something unmanageable and dangerous. Tallulah Bankhead was one of the interesting people in the entertainment business in the 20th century. People knew her for her deep voice, being open about sex, and doing crazy things. The audiences really liked Tallulah Bankhead because she was not afraid to do things that other people would not do. When the cameras were not rolling, Tallulah Bankhead was a mess. She would cause problems, scare people. This happened to Lucille Ball when Tallulah Bankhead was a guest on the Lucy Desi Comedy Hour in 1957. The people who worked on the show said that what was supposed to be a visit by Tallulah Bankhead turned into a big problem. Tallulah Bankhead showed up not feeling well. She forgot what she was supposed to say. She started using bad words and making comments that were not okay for television back in the 1950s. Tallulah Bankhead would walk off the set, take breaks, without telling anyone, and touch the other actors in ways that were not part of the plan, which messed up the scenes. At one point, Tallulah Bankhead almost knocked over an expensive camera, and the people in charge at Desilu thought she was too much to handle and might hurt someone. When the episode finished, Lucy told Desi Arnaz that she did not want to work with Tallulah. Lucy said that working with Tallulah was very difficult, like trying to control a storm. What really bothered Lucy was how Tallulah's behavior affected the rest of the people. The crew had to work a lot. The other actors had a hard time remembering their lines, and the whole production might cost more money than they had. Lucy did not like it when stars only thought about themselves and did not care about the people who worked hard to make the show happen. Lucy thought that the people who worked on the show deserved to be treated, and Lucy did not want to work with Tallulah again because of the way Lucy saw Tallulah treat the people. Number 7. Shelley Winters, a firecracker. Shelley Winters started out as a woman in the 1940s, but she became a very good actress who won 2 Academy Awards. People knew she was an actress, but she also got famous for yelling and screaming in public. Lucy said that with Shelley Winters, you never knew if things would be quiet and peaceful, or if she would blow up like a storm. Shelley Winters was a woman who could be very calm one minute. Then Shelley Winters could be like a big hurricane the next minute. At a party in Hollywood in the 1960s, Shelley Winters got really upset because she felt like nobody was paying attention to her. She started yelling at the people who were in charge through a drink and made such a scene that people began to leave early. Lucy was standing nearby, said that this was the reason she did not want to sit with Shelley Winters. When the cameras were not rolling, Shelley Winters was just as crazy. One time at a meeting at Desilu, she threw a drink on a boss who wanted to make a small change to the script of the show. Shelley Winters was very angry. Did not like it when people told her what to do. Lucy was really upset. It was not just because the man was being rude to her. He was also being humiliated in front of the people who worked for him. What really bothered Lucy was that Shelley's outbursts seemed like they were on purpose. Lucy thought that Winters liked to cause trouble so that people would do what she wanted just to get her to calm down. Lucy always tried to be professional when she was around Winters. She made sure to keep a distance from Winters and have someone around them at all times. Lucy did this with Shelley because she knew that winters could be very dramatic. Lucy did not want to deal with it. Number 8. Ava Gardner. People in Hollywood thought Ava Gardner was a sexy lady, but Lucy thought Ava Gardner was actually kind of mean. Ava Gardner was one of the beautiful women to ever be in the movies. Lots of people around the world thought Ava Gardner was a big sex symbol. The people Ava Gardner. The things Ava Gardner did just made people want to know more about Ava Gardner. Lucy thought there was something else about Ava Gardner that people did not see. Lucy thought Ava Gardner could be really cruel to people who were not as powerful as Ava Gardner. Gardner was really mean to the people who worked with her. Lucy saw her yell at a girl who helped with the clothes the girl had just steamed a dress, and Gardner made her cry. The girl said sorry, but Gardner did not care. She just said some hurtful things. Later, Lucy talked to the girl, told her that Gardner was just being mean and she should not feel bad. Gardner also said something bad about Ball at a party for people in the movie business. She called Ball a washed-up clown, which is a very mean thing to say. It seems like Gardner wanted Ball to hear about it, which made Ball very angry. Gardner did things like this a lot, like when she would get mad at the people who did her makeup. Lucy did not get upset because of what the person said to her. She got upset because of the way they said it. Lucy thought that Ava was pretty, and that is why she did not have to be nice to people. Ball would often say that if Ava was not pretty, she would have had to be a person. Lucy thought that Ava's beauty made it, so she did not have to try to be kind or care about people. Ball said that if Ava was not beautiful, she would have had to develop a personality to make friends. Number 9. Vivian Vance. The friendship that survived the wounds. I found this name on Lucy's list to be really surprising because Lucy and Vivian Vance became good friends later on. When they first started working together on I Love Lucy, things were not so great between them. Lucy was worried that Vivian Vance was too pretty to play the part of Ethel, and this made Lucy a little jealous. Lucy even made Vivian Vance agree to stay overweight, which was very hurtful to Vivian Vance. Lucy and Vivian Vance were not that different in age, which probably made things more complicated between them. Vivian really hated this situation. Sometimes she would get angry with Lucy. There was one time when she said that Ball was taking all the attention. She called Ball bossy, jealous, and too old. Lucy told Vivian that Vivian should be thankful that she even had a job. The arguments between Vivian and Lucy were very bad. After a while, Vivian and Lucy started to respect each other. By the 1970s, Vivian and Ball had formed a bond that lasted until Vance's death in 1979. Ball was really devastated by the loss of Vance. She never forgot the wounds that she got from people. But she also never forgot how Vivian stood by Ball during her divorce when many others did not stand by Ball. Vivian was always there for Ball. Lucille Ball had a list of 9 women that shows us what really went on in Hollywood. She was the woman to be in charge of a big studio, so she knew these stars as friends and as her employees. What Lucille Ball thought was important was not how famous someone was or how weird they acted, how they treated people who were not as powerful as them. Lucille Ball believed that the way someone treated the people who worked for them, like the assistants and the makeup artists, said a lot about what they were like. In the years since her death, many of Ball's judgments have been supported by later revelations. The studio system once protected stars who behaved terribly in private while maintaining perfect public images. Lucy used to say the camera adds a halo that is not always deserved. Her greatest strength was not just making people laugh, but seeing through illusion to the truth underneath.